Today I'd like to introduce you to the African Schools of Kenya charity, or ASK for short, and I would like to show you a clip from their documentary that they put out.
It has been known for some time that children can be an agent of change. If you can give children information, then they can take all that home and influence the behavior of the entire community. There are so many.
Alright, those were members of the Maasai tribe of Kenya. And in order to give you a full understanding of ASK, I am going to talk about the Maasai tribe, of course, the founder and operator of ASK, and how ASK is helping the Maasai people. First, I'd like to discuss the people ASK is helping. The Maasai used to be the most prominent tribe in Kenya. They lost most of their land after colonization and government programs. They have been forced to live in the dry and the least fertile areas of Kenya. Those of them who've kept their culture, at least. Others have gone off and joined the rest of the world. But they want to hold on to their culture, and the government right now is making it very hard for them. And they make their life from herding like cattle. That's how they make their living. But since they're forced to live in such dry, like at least fertile areas, they can't find grazing land for the cattle. And this is a picture of some Maasai in the area they live in. As you can see, it sucks. They like red, that's their tribe color. Their population right now is around 400,000. Yeah. Now that you know a little bit about the tribe, I'll tell you about the founder and operator of the charity. Her name is Terry Gabrielson. She's a little fuzzy. She has a BA in psychology and a multi-subject teaching credential. After teaching kindergarten, she worked in marketing in the travel industry and went to Africa many times. She met the Maasai while on a safari in 1996 and was so moved by their will to learn and interest in education that she started the ASK Foundation. Now let me tell you what the charity is doing for the Maasai. ASK is a non-profit organization, and its main focus is funding the Aesthetics Primary School. James Olukomede started the school with just let me explain who James is. James Olukomede is a Maasai elder who's, like many of them, has an interest in education and wants to educate his people without losing their culture. He's the one who started the Aesthetic School, primary school. When he first started, he had 6 students, and they used to write in the sand underneath the tree. Now, thanks to ASK, he has 300 students, 8 classrooms, and they're currently working on building some more. That's one of their classrooms. As you can see, it's extremely crowded. We're all wearing red again. And ASK is currently trying to get a more state-of-the-art equipment, and as I said before, more classrooms and obviously some better ones. They're also working on an exchange program to try to get the Maasai kids to be able to go to different schools around the world, and that's a fantastic thing they're doing. Through this presentation, I've told you about the Maasai people, the owner and operator, and how the Maasai are benefiting from the Ash Foundation. And now you know about the African Schools of Kenya charity and how they are helping the Maasai. Thank you.
Megan, what did you think?
I think you did a good job. It was really outlined really well. I think there could have been maybe more information behind each point, but it was presented really well, and the pictures were really good. I liked the video at the beginning because it really kind of like took you into their culture.
Yeah, I think I would use some other statement to start with, and then show the video, and then come back to your thesis statement. Using the thesis statement as the attention device is a little bit awkward. However, the thesis statement was very clear. You did have a good, solid layout of what the structure of the speech was going to be. There's some information about how widespread the population is of the Maasai, and I was kind of curious as to whether or not this is the only school that's serving that whole population. Are there other schools, either government schools or charitable schools, that are serving the population as well? Because it sounds like it's really this one particular school that you're focusing on. I thought that you did a nice job of generating some interest by telling the story of the two people that you mentioned, the founder of the charity and the founder of the school, and I thought that you could get a little bit more information in there, maybe some more of their stories to make it even more involving. There's some good historical context, but it does sound occasionally like you're going to go off on some tangents talking about government treatment of the Maasai people, but that never really develops. The poverty that they're faced with, that's not really developed. What I think I need a little bit more of is some of the things that are accomplished by the school, the number of kids that are able to learn or complete a school program, that they've had an impact on their community. If there's any success stories, I think that you need to be sharing those with us. The visuals are okay. I think that you would be better to run the slideshow. You're kind of running the pictures out of the slideshow, and as a consequence, the images are not as large as they could be. A couple of other people did the same thing with video clips. You know, you can enlarge the image and it might cut out a lot of that other background stuff so that we don't have the distraction when we're looking at it. That's just polish and practice kind of thing. If you're not doing it all the time, you don't think about doing those kinds of things. So it's not something that you know, I don't want you to feel like I'm beating you up over it. I'm just one of those things to pay attention to when you're doing that in the future. Now, I will beat you up over one thing, and that's a presentation. At the end of the speech, Chris, you're talking about this charity that you want us to know about, that you seem to have some empathy for it, but it just sounds like you're ticked off with your speech at the end, and like, I'm done. You know, it's practically like you're walking away from it, irritated, and maybe that's just my perception of it. I would like you to watch it when you see it and see if you get that kind of attitude, because you got to be careful about that. We're gonna be talking about this all later on, and it's funny how sometimes people don't realize the impact that they can have on how people are going to perceive the subject matter based on the way they present something. All right, thank you.